Sure.
Hello and welcome to another video by Johnny. Chào mừng các bạn một video khác của Johnny nha. So in this video, we'll be doing another unpopular review, unpopular opinion of Mr. Drago. And now he's working on his IELTS speaking practice. When is your exam again? I forgot. I'm sorry for my goldfish memory.
When is my
When is
exam?
your exam? I'm sorry.
It will be on June 27.
June 27. Okay, so we have more than 2 weeks to go. I see. Good. What were we talking about? I forgot. Okay,
Well,
so we are supposed to continue our speaking practice, and you should be doing topic number 16 now. Okay, by the way, I would like to thank Mr. Ngokbat and his team for IELTS Ngokbat and his team for making this material available for free, so everyone can use it. Thank you so much. Okay. And now, since the formality is over, let's continue. No time for formality, huh? Now, let's go to 16. Part 1, speaking. Right, so Mr. Drago, please. Remembering people's names. This is a topic right now we're doing. Is it easy to remember names in the remember category? So the question means like, when it comes to remembering, is it easy to remember names?
well, I think that it is quite easy to remember names, but you don't really have to remember the full name of every individual. You just need to remember just a nickname or just a kind of any short word that they are giving to you. Or if their name is hard to remember, to ask them like, how should I call you? And I think it would be the better way that you can remember better.
Right. So will you forget other people's names if others forget your name?
It depends on different situations. Sometimes I forget people's name, but if you always forget my name, and I am ready to remind them like what my name is. I have no problem by that because everyone has so many people in the connection, especially in business. So they have so many things to remember. Sometimes they forget some people's name. That's fine.
Don't worry, I never forget I never forget that my students owing me money. So of course I forgot their name, but I do not forget their faces easily. And especially
Yeah,
if they do
with your
if they haven't paid me, if they haven't transferred money to me, I will remember them for life.
if they have got your lunch and you have to remember the names.
Of course. Now tell me, how do you strengthen your memory?
There are some certain ways that I usually use in order to strengthen my memory. For example, I usually do meditation, which is
You do
much better
meditation?
way to
Yoga?
relax your mind. Meditation.
So yoga, like you mean yoga or something like that?
Yoga is supposed to be like an exercise. Meditation means that you are sitting like a Buddha, right?
Oh, I got it.
You rest your mind, like just like say in the early morning, you can do that because
Okay, I get it.
just
Okay.
simply relax your mind.
Right, so
And
how do you strengthen your memory, Mr. Drago?
there are some certain way that I usually use in order to strengthen my memory. For example, I usually do meditation to refresh my mind every single morning, and I also do some of the mathematical activities.
You mean
mathematical?
activities?
Mathematical.
Okay, mathematical activity, okay. Wow,
Yes.
so you like to do math problems, I see, to strengthen your memory. That's a good one.
Yeah, because math is supposed to be related to my careers. Therefore, I have to follow that way, to strengthen my memory.
I see. You know, one way to remember people's very well is that you let them borrow your money.
Of course, if you're a creditor, you are a creditor. You
If
will
you are a
be
creditor, yes,
the
you
only
will have to
person who
remember.
will remember the whole world.
Of course, doesn't matter where they flee to. You will catch
Or,
them, and they will pay. It's like that.
and especially, it is about your interests, right? So
Of
you don't
course,
really want to put away your interest
of
from
course.
yourself. That's
Now
therefore
let's
you have
move
to do
on to.
everything to remember anything related to your interests.
Of course. Now let's move on to mornings. So, do you often get up early in the morning? In
The
the morning?
answer is yes. I get up very very early in the morning because I found that I think this is an opinion that not many people can agree with me because it depends on uh, different health conditions of everyone.
You
For
mean
myself, like
if you
I'm
don't feel
still
well, you won't even wake up?
sorry.
You mean if you don't feel well, you don't even wake up?
If I don't feel well,
Uh-huh.
I still wake up.
If you don't feel well in the morning, you won't even wake up? Is that what you meant?
It's not like that. Like even in the morning, if I feel like not so well, I will still try to wake up because I think it would be the way that I'm not going to waste my time in the new day. Therefore, and there's another true reason that I'm still very young, so I have more strength than the others. That's therefore I found that getting up early is still my regular activity I do every day.
That's very healthy. Now, do you often get up early on weekend? On the weekend?
On the weekend, yes, I do every single day, including weekend, because I try to keep that as a kind of habit. And I think if it has become your habit, you are going to adapt every conditions in any time, even when if you get sick a little bit, but you have to keep your mind to get get up early to do your business in a new day. And I think
On
that
the new day.
be very healthy
On
somehow.
a new day.
Yeah.
Right. So, what do you usually do when you get up early?
I usually drink tea in the early morning because I think the tea is going to help me to meditate much better and I can refresh my mind. At the same time, I also drink a cup of coffee with creamer because
Oh,
those
coffee with creamer.
solutions can help you. Yeah, a cup of coffee with a creamer.
Oh,
So those solutions can be helping your digestion system going much better in the early morning.
oh, I see. So, which morning do you like best in a week and why?
I think the morning on the weekend will be or still is still the best time for the week because on the weekend you don't really think much about what you have to do seriously. So most of morning day in on the weekend you are you will be feeling much more comfortable to keep yourself relaxed and meditate every single day.
Good. Now let's move on to a part two topic, shall we? Um, 19, isn't it? Okay. Now let's go to 19. Okay, let's go to part two, topic 19. Describe a person who you think wear unusual clothes. A person you think who you think wear unusual clothes. Miêu tả một người mà bạn nghĩ là cái người này mặc những cái đồ quần áo rất là lạ thường. You should say who this person is, how you knew this person, what his or her clothes are like. Explain why you think his or her clothes are unusual. You should never try to describe me, okay? Because I wear normal clothes. Nobody has been complaining about my clothes.
Yeah, nobody complains. So why what should I talk about you?
Of course, they should never complain about my clothes.
Yeah,
Now,
because you never like it.
Okay, now let's do. Okay, part 3. We have this question now. Do you think what people wear can influence their mood? Bạn có nghĩ những gì con người ta mặc có thể ảnh hưởng đến tâm trạng của họ không? Do you think it's a good idea to buy clothes online? Mua quần áo online có tốt không? What kind of clothes do people wear in the workplace? Ở nơi làm việc con người ta thường mặc những loại đồ gì? What are the differences between clothes worn by old people and those by young people? Có sự khác biệt nào giữa những đồ mặc bởi người già và những đồ mặc bởi người trẻ hay không? Except from like how short they are, yeah. Okay. You have 1 minute now. Okay. Time's up. Mr. Drago, please describe a person who you think wear unusual clothes.
Well, this is a story that I wanted to tell to everyone this time. That there was my friend who was wearing a pair of
There were
jeans.
some of my friends.
Some of my friends wearing a pair of jeans and just simply a t-shirt. But the kind of way that they wear is very unusual. That they try to keep their pants lower than their, how can I say,
Lower than the hip, right?
yeah, something like that, lower than the hip. So it's the kind of way that I found it very unusual because some people think that it will become a new style in the future, but I don't think that would be the good way to wear that way. And the thing is, the thing in this case is that like if you are wearing any kind of clothes, means like you should try to keep the decency of the clothes and the beauty of the kind of outfit you are wearing. And my friend was not following the way. He was just wearing the kind of pair of jeans that also has some of the scratches on the pants. That was not so cool about that. So I found that it's very unusual. But because not many people wearing that kind of way and that kind of clothes do, and therefore that like in my opinion, he should try to improve a much better way in order to wear the clothes that he should be on, as he should be in when he is outside.
Okay, that wasn't a very smooth answer, I have to say. Anyway, so let's move on to part 3. Do you think what people wear can influence their mood and why?
In my opinion, the answer is yes, because for example, every single morning when I have to put on a suit to go to the office, and I found even though I'm so very exhausted in the early morning, but I found that like when I am in a the whole suit
Exhausted, okay?
exhausted. So when I'm in
Exhausted.
ex-
Exhausted.
exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I'm in full suit like that, I found that I have to change the kind of way that I am being tired. Sometimes I'm very tired at a time, but I have to show that I'm still fine. So it is going to influence the kind of mood that I was still having, because when you're in a very elegant outfit, you have to talk to the others at the same time, and you will have to change the kind of way that you are responding to the people, let's say your boss or your co-workers. Therefore, I found that like your outfit can influence your mood very strong.
Very strongly. All right. Okay, so do you think it's a good idea to buy clothes online? Think about the size, think about the fact that you have to return the clothes all the time, something like that.
I think it is very important to choose or just to find the most reliable online store to buy clothes.
Mhm.
And the most important thing is that you need to know your kind of size of the clothes that you are buying. Therefore, I found that it's still a good idea to buy clothes online because it is going to increase your convenience, right?
Mhm.
And sometimes you need to pay your credit card, and you're too busy of going to any store to choose every single piece of clothes to try. So I think that is still a good idea to buy clothes on the reliable online stores.
Right. It should be reliable because a lot of stores they do not have good work ethics and they do
Exactly.
not take it seriously. You know, some people they do not take their business seriously and they do not take their customers' requests seriously.
Mhm.
You know, take customers' request seriously.
At the same
So,
time, their customer service is awful,
of course, think
very awful.
about COVID time. They could always blame that COVID caused the like delivery problem. They could always blame on that, you know. And instead of that, they do not try to improve their service.
Exactly.
So sometimes it's a give and take, you know. It's a give and take. Có cái cho, cái được, cái không. It's a give and take.
Sure.
Sometimes it's a give and take. But the bottom
It,
line is, nhưng mà the bottom line is,
it's still bad.
no, it's not bad. The bottom line is it's actually okay. I bought clothes online before, no problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
As long as you told them, as long as you told them the right measurements, and as long
Measure.
as you choose a very good shop, good store, then it will be okay.
Sure. Yeah. Exactly.
So,
If you actually have the reliable stores, then we will be fine.
so what
As long as you
kinds
are choosing the
of
correct.
okay. So what kinds of clothes do people wear in a workplace? Do you know?
It depends on different environments of the workplace. For example, if you're working in the factory, you have to wear the factory uniform at the workplace. Or if you are working in, let's say, services, and if you're just working something like insurance, finance, or just business, you are supposed to be wearing, let's say, full
You mean
suit
white
or just
shirt and suit and tie,
yeah,
something like that?
yes, and tie too. And I found that it just depends on the different environment of the workplace.
Hmm. So, what are the differences between clothes worn by old people and those worn by young people?
Okay. This is a very interesting point that I would like to point out right now. And but okay, for the old people, they usually wear the high-rise pants
What do you mean? High what?
compared to the young people. High-rise means like you are wearing the pants that can be higher than your belly a little bit.
Ah, I see. So
Yeah.
it's like they always tuck their shirt in, luôn luôn bỏ áo vào quần. They always tuck
Um,
their shirt in.
it's not about, yeah, it's just for one point. They tuck the shirt, but like the kind of pants that they wear, it's not like usual, like young people, because it
Ah,
is going to cover the belly, right?
I
So
see.
they are not going to show let's say the whole circle belly when wearing something like that. So I think, and I found that most old people usually wear they call it high rise pants
Oh,
because it is kind of higher a little bit for uh just a user.
oh, okay.
And yeah, the young people they usually, let's say, usually wear some kind of more youthful, let's say, jeans or t-shirt.
Nah,
And but
it's uncomfortable. I wear gym clothes outside all the time. I
yeah,
wear
in Vietnam people
clothes, I
have
wear
that.
gym clothes outside all the time just to be comfortable, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So most young people they are supposed to be wearing more comfortable clothes when they have the chance to go out. So that therefore, I found that so just the huge difference between young people and old people is that the old people they are supposed to be wearing the more elegant kind of clothes because first that would be covering a lot of let's say the
flaws in their body,
yeah, something like the
like a
all
huge
aspect
belly.
of body. Yeah, let's say they cover their arms, they cover their belly, something like that. So the kind of clothes that they wear is supposed to be more elegant and I think much more expensive too. And but the young people they can be wearing more comfortable clothes. Let's say just a pair of pants, just a pants and t-shirt, something like that.
Well, maybe I'm just wearing gym clothes all over the place then. You know, gym clothes
Being
are extremely comfortable.
being close
No, no, clothes for gymmers.
or gymmers. Oh,
Like gymmers clothes, like for example, very loose clothes. Đồ mà rất là thoải mái, very loose, nó dính chặt vào người. It's very loose clothes.
interesting. It sounds like a traveling clothes.
No, no. Sometimes you have very tight gym clothes, but I prefer loose clothes. Like for example, it's one size bigger than my own body, you know.
Oh yeah,
So it's
exactly.
very loose, and you feel like you're swimming in it, but actually it feels great.
As long as the sleeves are
Mhm.
not longer than your hands.
Exactly. Now let's move on to topic number 20. Describe a thing that you bought and feel pleased about. Miêu tả một thứ mà bạn đã mua và cảm thấy rất là hài lòng về nó. You should say what you bought, where you bought it, what is it for, and explain why you felt pleased about it. You also have part 3. How often do people in your country go shopping? Người trong đất nước bạn đi mua sắm thường mà có thường không? Why is online shopping popular? Tại sao mua sắm online, mua sắm trên trực tuyến lại được nhiều người sử dụng? How should sellers set prices for their products? Những người bán hàng nên sắp đặt cái giá cả cho những sản phẩm của họ như thế nào? Like think about profit, think about cost, think about revenues, think about capitals, like think that they have to invest in their business, things like that, I think.
Market price, market
Market
price.
price, think about like inflation, think about
Yeah, sure.
anything else.
I will explain a lot of things
Of
in
course,
that.
you know more than me because you're learning about things. Now, next question. Do you think online shopping will replace shopping in stores in the future? Bạn có nghĩ mua
Okay.
sắm trực tuyến sẽ thay thế mua sắm ở những cửa hàng không? Tại sao?
Mhm.
Well, you have. I'll just make it smaller so you can see it. Okay, moment. Okay, you have 1 minute. A minute has passed.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Drago, please describe a thing that you bought and feel pleased about.
About 3 years ago, I purchased a licensing investment online course, and I bought it from the website that they provided me because I found that it was very important to learn a license to be allowed to work in the investment industry.
Industry.
Yes. So I found that like the importance in this case was that I would be allowed to be working in the more professional environment,
Mhm.
but much more difficult because I would be looking for a lot of clients after being licensed from the course. Therefore, I found that like I was so pleased
Pleased
after
or pissed? I was so pleased or so pissed.
pleased
I was so pleased.
pleased
Mm-hmm.
after I made a purchase of the course that I were learning so hard on it.
Okay, that was good enough. Now, let's move on to part 3, Mr. Drago. So, how often do people in your country go shopping and why?
I think in my country, I will explain this question in my country from Vietnam. I think that nowadays the people in Vietnam are still having the very high demand of going shopping, and I think that they usually spend 2 times a week to go shopping. And but I'm not pretty sure the kind of products that they are supposed to buy because it depends on the demand in a week. it can be food, meal, dinners with the customers, or they are or just a kind of clothes or something like equipment for the decoration. Many reasons. So I think that most people at least spend 2 times a week to go shopping.
Oh, 2 times per week to go shopping.
Yeah.
That's a good answer, I think. So, you know about online shopping, yeah? Why is online shopping popular? What do you think?
So there's only one reason. First, I think there are many reasons, but I will be pointing out about two most popular reasons of
Okay.
online shopping. First, it's very convenient because like sometimes people are very tired of going to, let's say, local store or just physical stores in order to uh, let's say make a lot of options to choose the kind of products that they should buy. But the online shopping is much more convenient that they don't have to move their, let's say,
It doesn't.
vehicles
So people
around.
don't have to. People don't have to.
Yeah, people don't have to move their vehicles around town to look for the kind of store that they should, or the kind of products that they should look for. And the thing is that like traditional stores, they just sell particular products that the people need. But the online shopping is much more convenient because there are a lot of kind of products in, let's say, in one website. So that is
So the chance that something can be out of stock is not very small. It's not big, right? So there's not a big
yeah.
chance something will come
Sometimes like a local stores they can be out of stock, so
out of
therefore the
out of
online shopping can be keeping the much better inventory for the buyers. At the
inventory,
same time,
inventory, inventory,
yeah, inventory for the buyers. And
inventory.
another reason, another more popular reason is that they, because most people right now are using the credit card or debit card, so they don't really have to let's say going to the ATM, to cash out and putting in those cashes to go to the traditional store to pay for what they are buying. But the online shopping stores just require you to use your credit card that you are still having your capital inside. Therefore, that is
Wait,
another
your credit
convenience.
card, you still have your capital inside? What do you mean?
Capital, well, capital is just a kind of word that I was using in the financial services, like just money.
Okay, let's just say that let's just say that the credit card does still have balance, you know, a
Okay.
certain amount in the balance. Vẫn còn một số nào đó trong cái trương mục. It still have certain amount in their balance, you know.
Yeah.
So still have some amount in the balance available for purchase. So it's not like totally empty card, you know. To check if the card can still be usable, yes.
Yeah.
And payable, of course. Now, so how should sellers set prices for their products? Mr. Drago, now come your forte. Your forte means like the thing that you really.
Oh, excuse me, my internet connection not so stable. Sorry for that. Okay.
Don't worry. I see lagging.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I hear you very well.
Okay, sorry because my internet connection was not so stable right now. I think it's okay right now. Okay.
I thought that Vietnam internet is bad, but sounds like Canada's internet is even worse, no?
Oh, that can be the question that I'm having right now. Like in Vietnam, I think most people pay the internet much lower price than Canada, but sometimes Canada sucks, and well,
Don't use sucks in IELTS.
I know, because that's not supposed to be the question that you're asking me for the place.
Okay. Now, so how should
Okay.
sellers set prices for their products? Now come your forte. Your forte means your strength.
Okay, it would depend. It would depend on the demand and supply of the kind of products that the vendors can be providing. For example, if the demand of the buyers is so high, which make the purchasing power so strong.
Purchasing power.
purchasing power so strong,
Sức
so
mua.
the sellers are supposed to set the price higher than it could be, because first they the inventory of the kind of many products is now, like
I don't
cannot supply the enough amount for the original price anymore. Therefore, the higher price will limit the purchasing power from the purchasers.
Purchaser.
So,
Purchaser.
purchasing. Sorry, yeah, sorry about that. And another reason that, like, if the supply is so high, which means that, like, inventory can be, let's say, outnumber, or oh no, just not outnumber. It's like too much. So I mean, like, inventory is so high, so it means that, like, the sellers should lower the price in order to, let's say, stimulate the
Balance. You mean to
purchasing,
balance and to stimulate the
stimulate purchasing power for the buyers, and it just depends on the demand and supply. And there are some certain reasons. Let's say inflation, like if the price of the
inflation.
product,
Inflation.
yeah, it's inflation or deflation sometime too, and both inflation and deflation are not good.
Wait, what
So
is
therefore,
deflation? Okay, inflation is an increase in price after some time, right?
yes,
Naturally. So what is deflation? Is the opposite?
deflation means that the inventory is too high. So therefore, that, let's say, the seller cannot sell any products. That means they cannot make any products,
Uh,
and therefore, like, the store can declare bankruptcy anytime, because
I
they cannot sell any product for any revenue, right? Therefore,
right.
they have to, let's say, let the employees go, and they can increase the higher deployment rate. But at the same time, inflation means that the price can be too high, so that's not good for purchaser
So
too.
purchaser.
Purchaser,
So
purchaser.
basically, okay. So basically, you mean like deflation? It's the opposite of inflation, and it
It's
causes the
opposite.
price to just go down.
Yeah.
I don't know what's the Vietnamese word for that anyway, but it just means the opposite of lạm phát.
Yeah, it's
What's that?
it's the opposite. So both inflation and inflation are not good.
Inflation.
Yeah, inflation and deflation are not good. Yeah, both of them. So
Okay.
therefore, like, the government should interfere somehow. Just not
I mean,
interfere, like,
intervene.
intervene. Just not making the law. Just let's say, increasing the interest rate, which is it can be called like a lãi suất đấy. So when they increase the interest rate, it means that it is going to limit the purchasing power from the buyers, and we try to balance and try to lower the inflation a little bit. But if
Okay.
they just, let's say, put the money too much into the market, and that can cause the inflation too. Yeah.
You know, that's a really long answer. It's like a 2-page answer.
Well, because that's my expertise.
Of course, it's your expertise. That is your forte, your strength, the thing that you are good at. Now, do you think online shopping will replace shopping in stores?
I think it depends on the kind of products that the stores are selling. Let's say there are some of the traditional stores that provide the tailoring service. Okay, let's say if you are going to the food store, or just requiring to have a new, let's say, elegant clothes, you need to be tailored, and you need you need those tailor to measure this kind of size of, let's say, your back, your neck, and the length,
To measure the correct measurements, right? To get the
and
correct
the length
measurements.
and the length of your leg too. So that I felt like most of the tailoring service will be surviving as a traditional store, but I think like most of the retail stores can be supposed to be replaced by the online shopping, because every product right now can be sold online, so they just need simply ship to the
The buyers.
Purchasers, yeah.
Purchaser or buyer is the same thing. Okay. Now, very good, Mr. Drago. Now let's go on to 21. Describe a time when you ate something for the first time. It's about food now. This topic is about food. So, miêu tả một cái thời điểm mà bạn ăn một cái gì đó lần đầu tiên. Không phải ăn hành. Okay. Alright. You should say what you ate, ăn cái gì, bạn đã ăn cái gì. When you ate it, bạn đã ăn khi nào. Where you were, lúc đó bạn ở đâu. And explain how you felt about it. Cảm thấy thế nào về ăn cái lần đó lần đầu tiên. And part 3. What kinds of foreign food are popular in your country? Cái loại đồ ăn ngoại quốc nào nó rất là thông dụng được nhiều người biết đến trong đất nước bạn. Like I could just think about Korean food, I guess. Korean, Japanese, Chinese food.
Kimchi or just sushi, something like that. I think so.
Something like that. Kebab.
Kebab.
Of course, kebab is very delicious. I like it.
I know.
Yum.
Very good. I love them.
And I'm working late at night teaching you, and I'm hungry now. Now, what are young people's opinion on new food? How about old people? Cái nhận định của người trẻ về những thức ăn mới, lương thực mới, thức ăn mới, đồ ăn mới như thế nào? Vậy thì người già ra sao? Tức là người già nghĩ gì về cái đồ ăn mới? Like for example, if you have a new type of food in town, are old people willing to try it as much as young people do? Something like that, you know? Should teachers and parents teach children how to cook? Các bậc cha mẹ và giáo viên có nên dạy trẻ nhỏ cách nấu ăn hay không? Why do people like their local food? Tại sao con người ta lại thích đồ ăn địa phương của họ? Okay, you have a minute now. Thumbs up. Now, please, Mr. Drago. I'm coughing.
About 2 years ago.
Okay, describe a time when you ate something for the first time, and I'm coughing like a COVID-19 patient.
Sorry?
And I'm coughing like a COVID-19 patient.
You are?
I'm just joking. Of course, if I got COVID,
you're not gonna die. That's so easy.
Okay, describe a time when you ate something for the first time, Mr. Drago, please.
Okay, about 2 years ago, I was invited by my uncle to a restaurant near the river, and I found that it was the first time that I was going to the very luxurious restaurant at the time. And the kind of food that I was eating at the time was the raw or just pre-cooked oyster. And it was the first time that I tried the kind of oyster that was not cooked at all. And I found that that kind of food, it was very popular in some countries. But in my country, Vietnam, we usually eat every single day just the cooked meals. Therefore, like it was also the first time that I was eating a raw meal as the oyster, and I found that it was really hard to adapt for the first time I tried it. But after a few years later, I found that because I know the popularity of that kind of food, so therefore I found that it was quite easier for me to adapt if I had a chance to try it again. And as I say, oyster, which was not cooked at all, was the kind of food
raw and cooked. Raw and cooked oyster, you mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Raw oyster. So I thought it was very hard to adapt the case like that.
What if the oyster and they move?
On what?
What if the oyster move when you eat them?
I never tried it. I know things.
You know, some people they eat raw octopus. The octopus, it's like they eat live octopus.
Wow.
Disgusting. And the octopus are still alive, and sometimes they get stuck into the throat of the person who consumes it.
That's not good. That is you're taking the case too adventurous. So I found out it's not so good at all. Don't try the octopus to eat.
Never try to eat live octopus. Now, So let's do part three now, Mr. Drago. So what kinds of foreign food are popular in your country and why?
I think right now most people are uh, very interested in the fried chicken, and many people should know that the fried chicken. I am not pretty sure about the origin of the fried chicken, but I found that like the first time I heard about fried chicken about like let's say
Kentucky.
15 years ago was from the Kentucky fried chicken, and it was from Nashville, Kentucky, United States.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, like f- fried chicken was is still right now the very popular kind of food that Vietnamese citizens are so interested in because every single party or just let's say birthday or just a kind of a gathering party, they usually order some like a high volume of this of the food fried
You have
chicken
like a
in
huge bucket,
some of
like a huge
certain
bucket of
restaurants.
fried chicken,
Therefore,
right? Like a huge bucket of fried
yeah,
chicken, right?
yeah. So therefore, I found that like that is the only foreign food I found the most popular one in my country, fried chicken.
Interesting. People have been frying chicken ever since, but something about KFC, it's just extremely crispy and extremely attractive. But
Oh no, it's not. It is not scripty than the Lotteria. Lotteria is much scrippier, but I think like I don't like both in my opinion.
oh, they just crappy, unhealthy, fatty. Like
Yeah, I much prefer Popeyes than both of them.
if you know how to cook, you basically will have a very bad opinion about those kind of junk food. Now,
Junk food.
so what are young people's opinion on new food? How about old people?
So most of the young people's opinion about the new food is kind of like positive because they are supposed to be like trying the new kind of food when any kind of like let's say new chains coming. So therefore, I found that like young people are supposed to be like more adaptive more than the old people. But the old people because this is not the kind of
Adapting?
like
Young people are more adapting? You mean?
yeah adapting yeah young people are more adapting in any kind of new food. Therefore, they think that they should try the kind of new food in order to know, let's say, the kind of new taste, how it should be. Should it be the long-term kind of food that they should eat anytime when they have the chance to gather more friends, something like that. But for the old people, they don't really have the demand of gathering so many people for meals. Therefore, I found that most old people just simply uh, let's say think about keeping the traditional kind of food that they have been eating for the last let's say decades. Yeah.
Good. So, do you think there's any way to persuade older people to change their conservative mind and try to be more open-minded about new food? Is there any way?
I think there are many things that we can try to persuade old people to, let's say, open their mind in some certain aspects. But if I have to talk about food, because food is about the taste, and the taste should be the habit of every single individual. So I think it's very hard to change the kind of like the kind of way that they taste their food. So therefore, I found it's very hard to convince the old people to try the new kind of food because the taste is. Let's for example, if you are just a Vietnamese, right, just regular Vietnamese, you are eating the Vietnamese curry very, very well. But if you have a chance to go to, let's say, another culture in, let's say, in India,
Mhm.
and you try, and the first time you try the Indian curry, you may feel shocked a little bit because
See.
they have a different taste. So I found that, but not many Vietnamese people can adapt that taste. Therefore, I
To
found
adapt
that like
to can adapt to that stage.
to adapt to the taste. Therefore, I found that like if it has something to related to the taste or just a regular kind of meal, I think it's very hard to persuade the old people to open mind about food. Yeah.
Right. Now, so should teachers and parents teach children how to cook, and why? And why not?
I think it is very important for the teachers and the parents to teach children how to cook, because cooking is supposed to be not only a regular activity that an adult sh- should have, but it could be considered as a survival skill, because let's say if you're away from home, you need to know some of these certain cooking skills that you can cook for yourself in certain time if you don't really have someone to cook for you, right? So I found that it's very important for the teachers and the parents to teach children how to cook.
Right, and also cooking is a survival skill, but also it's a responsibility as well. If you think about
Exactly. Yeah, personal responsibility.
exactly, you are responsible for feeding yourself. Self-care, that's important. Self-care.
Healthcare, exactly.
Exactly. So basically, self-care is important because if they go to study abroad, cooking is a vital skill to have.
Exactly. You have to feed yourself. At the same
Exactly.
time, you have
Otherwise
to
your
feed
work will
your
suffer.
healthy.
Otherwise your work will suffer. Your grade will suffer. Your everything will suffer. Your look will suffer.
At the same time, your mentality can have a problem too.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. So why do people like their local food? What do you think?
I think it is pretty simple to see this aspect, because first of all, most people are just found just find that like their local food or just more regular kind of meals that they have been eating since they were a child. Therefore,
Since they
like
were a child.
yeah, uh,
Since they were a child.
yeah, they were a child, right?
Since they
Am
were a
I right?
child.
Okay, sure, sure.
Try
Like,
again.
and I found
Okay,
a local food.
try again. Just try that again. Why do people like their local food?
Okay, so I think that the most people are so like just found that like the local food are just the most popular one, or just the kind of regular taste that they have been having since they were at the this junior's age. So
Ah,
I found that like that's very important for the people to find a local food to be like just kind of regular taste. That's why they like the local food,
oh,
and at the same time, the local food can be um, very adapting for everywhere. So if they, let's say, if they have a chance to go to somewhere else, but like they are not in the very good financial conditions to try the new food, so the local food is still the easiest way that they can cook or just they can make in order to feed themselves in a certain times to survive.
true.
So therefore, yeah.
That's so true. Financial wise, it makes so much sense. Financial
Yeah.
wise, that is so much sense, you know. Well,
Hmm.
but how about taste? Taste wise, về vấn đề taste, taste wise, of course, local food would always taste more, better, to be honest, because they're
Exactly.
used to that. They're used to that. They are much more able to accept that food compared to other kinds of food from other cultures. Right. Now, let's move on to 22. This is the last topic, okay? Describe a time when you had to wait in a long line of people.
Long line of people, like I
You
was staying in a line and waiting for the service for too long.
could be long line people, like, for example, if you have to wait a long time just to get vaccinated, or like a long line just to buy something, like, for example.
Okay, got it, got it.
Miêu tả một thời điểm mà bạn phải chờ trong một cái hàng dài người để chờ để làm gì đó. You should say when it was where you waited in line. So we have a few words here. To line up, xếp hàng, xếp thành hàng. To line up. or you can say to queue. To queue. 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 Xếp hàng á. To queue. Alright, so how you felt and explain why you had to wait in a long line of people. Tại sao phải chờ đợi hàng dài như vậy? Okay, and you have also part 3 here. Do you think waiting is harder now than in the past? Bạn có nghĩ đợi chờ bây giờ khó hơn trong quá khứ không? Why? And why do some companies provide poor customer service? Tại sao một số công ty lại cung cấp dịch vụ khách hàng rất tồi? Well, I'll give you a clue. Because if the customer make a mistake, if they are mad, they can make even more mistake. And mistake of customer can help the company to earn even more money. That is basically a business ploy or gimmicks. Chiêu trò.
Yeah.
Gimmick or ploy. Chiêu trò.
Wow. Interesting.
Well, do you prefer human being or robot customer service and why? Các bạn thích được phục vụ bởi người hay là bởi robot? Chăm sóc khách hàng bằng robot hay chăm sóc khách hàng bởi người? Tại sao? Well, think about if you have a robot servicing you, and if you are really mad, you can insult the robot without any consequences. And the robot will realize that, and they would start attacking you. And you can destroy that robot without having to worry about any consequences. It's just a robot. Okay, you have a minute now. I'm just joking. Okay, Mr. Drago, please describe a time when you had to wait in a long line of people.
So there was a time that I had a chance to go to Bana Hills in Vietnam. It was in Da Nang city. So after we we went to the mountain and everything was fine. And at the time, when the time to go home came, we had to stand in a line in order to, let's say, go into the elevator to go down the mountains, because I found that it was very tired to take a long.
It was very tiresome. It was very tiresome.
Yeah, tired of.
No. The trip was very tiring or tiresome.
Yeah. So I found that it was very important to know that, like, taking a long walk from the peak of the mountain to the bottom of the mountain is very, very tired, and it can be very exhausting. So I found that, like, we had to take the line with during a very long line of the people to wait for the elevator at a time. So I found that, like, we were just very patient of waiting for the line, because I found it is just simply personal responsibility of every visitor to wait for the service. So, and the elevator was still the free service too. So everybody, when there are many people using the free service, so there is a responsibility to wait for the turn to receive the service. And I found that, like, it was still a good thing for the kind of much better civilization, instead of, like, let's say, no line and everybody just trying to pull into one elevator and make it full,
like a typical Chinese situation.
Something like that is not a good thing. So I think waiting for the long line for a certain kind of service is still good.
Just like a typical Chinese tourist situation.
Yeah, I know.
I know. Why we have different rooms for that, you know?
Well, this is the kind of thing that we have learned from the Western civilization, at the same time Japanese civilization, Japanese culture, about standing in a line, and I think that's a good thing.
It's a very good thing, actually. It basically teaches patience.
Exactly.
Patience, respect. These two. Patience and respect. Very important.
Yeah, in respect.
It's very important to teach children, young children, respect and patience. So, queuing in a long line or lining up in a queue is extremely important. Now, so do you think that waiting is harder now compared to the past, Mr. Drago? Let's get this done with.
So I don't think the waiting is getting harder right now because waiting can be considered as a kind of culture that everybody should learn, and it's not so like exceptional from any culture. So therefore, I think the waiting should be considered as a kind of habit of every single individual should have when they are using any kind of service.
I should tell my student to wait for me more.
Oh yeah, sorry for that.
I'm just joking, of course. Now, so why do some companies provide poor customer service? What do you think?
Well, first of all, I think that like there are some certain employees in some companies are let's say too subjective in terms of providing service, and they found that like the companies are doing so well, and they don't think that like they should provide the best customer service for any complaints or just any requests from customers. So therefore, I think this is just from subjectiveness from the employees in some certain companies. Yeah.
Right, I see. But you know that that companies they intentionally do that just so that customer they become more mad, they become more angry, then they will start making purchase mistake, right? And purchase mistake
Oh,
with money.
oh yeah,
Well,
exactly.
like I told you before, this is a very common thing. It's not because this company cannot provide that good service. It's because that they wish the customer to make more mistake. And when they make mistakes, they buy more. Imagine if the company is so huge already, like for example, Facebook, then the customer doesn't really have a choice, right? Doesn't really have another choice, right?
Yeah, they don't really have a choice
So
because
that's
Facebook
why,
right now,
yeah, so that's
yeah,
what
Facebook right now is supposed to be a kind of service anymore. Facebook right now can be
monopoly.
considered as a small society, and you know when a society is formed, it would be considered as a there would be like a, let's say ruling class in the society. So it
Exactly.
means that they are in the position of providing the rules for the people in the society
And
to
then they
follow,
will
no
tell,
longer serving anymore. Yeah,
yeah, and they will start telling the customer, you are not in a position to ask for our service anymore.
exactly.
Uh-huh. They can say
That's a
that.
huge problem. So right now they are just providing the laws. I mean the laws in the bracket, right? So they think that like everyone using their service must follow the rules that they
Exactly.
are providing, and if you don't really follow the rules, you can be suspended anytime.
Okay, I think that's
This
it.
is
Yeah, let's just forget
this
about
is
the last question and we just end here. Okay, thank you so much for watching. So please like, share this video with your friends, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and press on the bell button next to subscribe button. You know what to do to get notified by my new uploads. You can also follow my Facebook, but please, dear God, do not add me on Facebook as friends unless you want to be my students because I'm reaching the Facebook limits now. It's like 5,000 is the limit. I have like 3,900 friends already. I must preserve the 1,000 something for people I really know, okay?
wow, how popular you are.
I should do like cooling, just like cut off all the people who I haven't actually met. But if I do that, it's gonna hurt my business anyway.
Yeah.
Bye.